Hey guys, Kenny Monster. We got a little viewer request here about how to do a high ILS or high VOR at Lincoln Airport. So I'm going to drag the sky vector chart over here. And you'll see this one here is the one we're doing. And then here's the other three. They're pretty much all the same in that you start at flight level 180, except the high VOR DME for runway 36, you start at 5,000. I'm not sure why that is, because in the high ILS for runway 36, you start at flight level 180. But we're not going to focus on those. We're going to focus on this one here. So I'm going to take off from runway 18. I'm going to go out, circle back, and go out here, and you'll see we get about 39 miles. And this is if there's no ATC. If there's ATC, you just get vectored around. So you can kind of see. The worst part about this is you're crossing the cone of confusion right here as you're trying to land, and it sucks. Makes it a little harder. Another thing to notice or to note is your VOR is 116.1, but that's not VOR DME. If you want, or your localizer is 111.1. That's not localizer DME. That's just your localizer only. So I'm going to have to keep the DME as a different frequency, and I will show you that in the plane. But I'm limited on time here because I only get 20 minutes. So I'm going to move this back over. So you'll see I have the Garmin set up so I can see the ILS frequency, because otherwise the ILS frequency in this plane is buried right there. You ain't gonna see that. So that's why I have it here. So right now I'm set up for the ILS 116.1, DME 116.1. That's the VOR frequency. So I'm going to take off and then swing back around so you guys can see the whole thing. I'm doing unrestricted climb here too. I'm offline, so I'm not too worried about breaking the speed limit. But if I was on VATSIM and I really wanted to break the speed limit, I would request unrestricted climb. And crap, not my best one. This plane's very, very touchy, though I have to have the joystick settings. So holding it above the runway is really hit and miss. And she'll boogie. So I'm just going to do a climb to flight level 180, fly out about 30 miles, and then turn back so I can get established on the proper course. Oops, starting to lose speed. Let her come down. Roll. Pitch. Let the G-forces plant me in the seat rather than try to pull me up into the harness. She will stall very easily. I can tell you, if you do a roll like that at too low of a speed, I've gotten into a flat spin, an unrecoverable flat spin. And it really sucks. And I overshot the 180. Sorry. A lot going on here. See, I screw up all the time, guys. All the time. I've even done this on VATSIM. So don't worry about making mistakes. Whatever you guys are worried about doing, I've done. Whatever you've done, I've done, and then some. I'm not proud of it, it just happens. Okay, now I'm at almost 20 DME. We'll go another 10 miles. This thing does not track a VOR to save its life. It sometimes it's not too bad. I can draw a pretty straight line with it. Most of the time it's, you know, constantly side to side of the VOR. I don't know if it's me, the plane. It's, remember, this is a cheap $20 plane. It's been upgraded from, or ported over from X-Plane 10, and it may have even been ported over from FSX into X-Plane 10. I'm not entirely sure, but it works. Alright, and I can have fun with it. I'm going to drop the speed brakes here a little bit, just to get her back down below 300. Once you get her leveled off at cruise, she's not too bad. But climbing and descending, she's kind of ugh. And I'm going to change the course to tree 47, because if you look at the chart, that's the outbound radial we're going to want to track going north to make the procedural turn. So I'm at about 2.8 DME. I'll start my turn. And to be honest, this thing works best when you roll it further. And I'm still getting used to these rudder pedals. I've had them for quite a while, but when it comes to turns, I'm not proficient. We'll say that. But that's hopefully going to get better, because lately I've been getting more into DME arcs. I've talked about that in Discord, and so hopefully it gets better. And crap. And one thing about this plane is that I really suck at turning, trying to hold it level. So my turn ends up being too wide or too narrow. Controllers have seen that, and the settings that I have to have on the stick. So, like I said, she's very touchy. Just like that, I'm below 180. That sucks. And I don't have a very steady hand to begin with. So, yeah. Don't sweat it. This was really just about doing the procedure to show that it can be done with other jets, which I'll talk about later towards the end of the video again. And that's the speed management part of this thing. That's what I do not like about the throttle wheel on not just my VKB, but even on the 3D Pro. Very incremental. You know, you move it a little bit, it doesn't do anything, and then after about 4 or 5 notches, then it finally does something, and you either go way too fast or way too slow. That's really annoying. That doesn't help. I wish I had some fancy throttle. But I got bigger fish to fry. I got bigger priorities. So man, I did a really bad job of speed management on that turn. She's really fast, but you know, damn, she'll pick up speed really quick during the descent, but she'll also bleed off speed really fast in a turn. It's crazy how this plane can just, it's like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And get the throttle. The thing about the Talon too is you got to use speed brakes a lot to keep your RPMs up. That's tricky for me, especially when I'm on an instrument approach, and even worse on VATSIM when you're trying to talk to a controller and you're looking at the charts. You're getting instructions for vectors, for descents, and just when you think you got your speed set, you get told descend to another altitude, so you need to descend. You're picking up more speed even with the brakes, and it's a lot for me to handle. So when you guys use autopilot, don't take it for granted. Makes things a lot easier. Here I do not have much for assists. And she's also a JCS plane, so she doesn't pitch worth a shit. That's one thing I've noticed about the JCS planes, because the Corsair is also a JCS. They do not trim worth a shit. They do not. I don't know, maybe if I had a different control, a different joystick or a throttle HOTUS, where it, maybe if it's got a little wheel where it's more accurate. I don't know. When I do it, I got buttons on the base of the joystick that I use for the trim, and it just sucks. So like here when I came back, I already overshot the VOR. You see that? Look at it, there's my track. And the speed got away from me again. So I just dropped some brakes here a little bit, one notch. I swear it's windy. If you look at it, it says winds are more windy than what it is. So it's 300 at 9. Okay, you can see that's an ugly track. Oh, like I said, sometimes it's better. Sometimes it's worse. Crossing the Lincoln VOR right now, so then we're going to go out. If you look at, if you have the chart pulled up, we have to go out 39 miles, then make the turn to come back and get lined up for the approach. And another thing about the, talk about tracking a VOR with this plane sucks. Going over the cone of confusion sucks too. The Tucano, I don't have a problem going over the VOR with that one and picking up the radial on the other side. This one I do, and I don't know if it's the speed or if it's something modeled in the plane. I don't know what it is, but I just suck at it. I'm going to drop the speed brakes here just a little bit to try to get the speed down to 250. That's how I usually set my speed. Like, I'll move the throttle wheel down a little bit, and if it doesn't move, then I'll drop the one notch of speed brakes to try to get it down, and sometimes she'll level off then. See what I mean? Like, I gotta go left. See what I mean? That's what I don't like about this one. And maybe it's me. I don't know. I thought I was going pretty decent to be able to pick it up, and I'm going back about 15 degrees left to try to pick it up. And we're about 8 DME, and we got to get out to 39, so bear with me, guys. Maybe I didn't have to do the whole approach, but I wanted to do it just to show you Yes, it may not be right, but that's not the point. Or with, you know, my speeds and tracking and stuff, the point of this is to show the gist of it and how to do it. I know you guys are better at controlling your planes than I am, and it's just is what it is. Can I see how far off I was? Fuck, that's crazy. See, then when I dropped the speed brakes there a little bit, it's like I bled off more speed than I wanted to. So now I've got to give her throttle, and then that fucks up the trim. Let's make a heading bug. Try to get pegged in there. See right there, I'm a little below 250 knots. Yeah, see what I mean? And that wasn't the prettiest. I mean, I went out and I tried to come back on the same radio. It's like, ugh. It's one of those things where, you know, do as I say, not as I do, because, you know, I get it. I'm learning a lot of this stuff, but the execution is lacking. I admit I don't have the best coordination. I've got some issues, you know. Again, not going to go into a lot of detail about that. It just is what it is. This is mostly just about showing the procedure itself. And again, this is the HI ILS Zulu for runway 18 at Lincoln. Kilo Lima November Kilo. I'm hoping I can get this all done in under 20 minutes. That's the longest G-Force will let you record. Which G-Force is working again now. That was awesome. It wasn't working for like 2 weeks, and then this morning there was an update. I actually messaged in B7's Discord if anyone else was having the problem, and it worked for her. But this morning there was an update, and it was for the G-Force Experience launcher. Now it works, and I wasn't the only one. I was in some NVIDIA forums, and other people were having the same problem. And you can find ones that go back several years. So apparently a pretty common thing. I don't know if that's an issue with Windows compatibility. And I don't know. It just seems weird that it won't. One update will break it, and you can't record. You just get that green dot with the red line through it. It was driving me crazy because I thought I had changed the setting or something, but I went through it and it just. You know, 10 miles. Ugh, so look at that. I'm better with the Takano. Like I said, that one tracks a lot better, but I'm also going a lot slower. You hear him just putzing along. About 320 ground speed, and Mach 0.54. This thing was meant to go fast, not slow. Getting close. Hang in, guys. 7 more miles, and then we start the turn. Like when you do this on VATSIM, if you come in, if they don't vector you around, sometimes, like if it's really busy, I've had it where the controller, let's say, all right, fly to Lincoln VOR, clear for the HI ILS approach, and then I have to go out and do the turn, and then it's long silence on my end, but you're hearing all the stuff on comms. And so you just kind of go about your way. Alright, getting close, about 3.5 more miles. Yeah, another thing about this plane, the TACAN doesn't work. What should be the... Yeah, see, that doesn't work right there. That should be the TACAN. I don't use this for comms either because it doesn't show the standby. It's like 125.10. Watch, I'll flip it. It'll show the secondary after you flip it, but not visibly. So that's another reason I have the Garmin up, so I can see the standby frequencies. Now the Tucano, that dash is laid out beautifully. I don't need the Garmin up to see the frequencies. And there we go. I was talking too much. We're past the 39 DME. Start the turn. And if I can hold it, so far, I'm not, okay, don't jinx it, but so far, this one is looking better than the last one. And no, I didn't time it. I have a hard time seeing that little clock down there. Same thing in all the planes. And I'm not going to bother setting up a hotkey to zoom in on it. Crap. Ugh. Pedals are very, very touchy there. I let go a little bit and she came back. And you'll see my speed. I'm down to about 220, so where was that? I'm about 220. I probably have about 25 knots there. And while talking, see, that's the thing. I overshot again. This is why I don't like to make videos like of complex stuff, like talking. Like I've done a couple other videos of high ILSs, but there was no audio because I get distracted very easily. Blame my mom. She's a chatterbox. I get it from her. Alright, so we're at 3.5 DME and at 2.9 DMEs when we start the descent. And we're gonna be, and we have to drop. So at 2.9 DME, I'm at flight level 180, and then I have to be at or above 3,100 by 11.7 DME. Oh god, that's gonna look ugly. See, look how much I shot past. God damn it. So we have 0 cockpits, right? And the speed, that's another thing. So you have the throttle, so I have the throttle set, I was at 250 knots, you guys saw it, right? Then I did the turn, I had the throttle in the same position, and it never regained the speed. I gotta give it more throttle, and that, oh. So the thing about this plane, speed management is brutal, and it's really hard in the DME arcs, and that's why I avoided them for a long time. But okay, just about ready to start descending. We're at 2.9. Okay, let's start going down, and we are going to go down fast. Come on, Nelly. Kind of want to be in about 4,000 to 5,000 feet per minute. 4,000 feet, you're going to be a little bit high, but whatever. I prefer coming in high over low. I can always do a dive at the end. I'm adapted doing stupid shit that you guys would say go around, but I don't believe in going around because I don't have the patience. We're dropping the speed brakes there, and this thing's very pitchy the way I have the response curve set up, because I have to have it very fine-tuned at the center for high altitude when I'm hand flying, but then when I do descents and flares and climbs, it's just ugly. but it's a fighter jet. You guys are flying your tube liners or any other plane where you've got all the other stuff. This doesn't have to look pretty for me. And I gotta probably overshot that. Okay, I'm at 19 DME and 10,000, and I said I need to be at or above 3,100 at 11.7 DME. Okay, I'm using full speed brakes right now to try to get her back under control. Because you really got to use them, like I said, to keep the RPMs up. And there must be a way. Here's where I love to talk to real world pilot, because when I watch the videos, how they use speed brakes on approach, they got gear down, flaps extended. How are they able to manage their speed? Because I have a bitch of a time. Okay, 1.4 DME, 6,800. And I need to be at or above 3,100 at 11.7. Oh crap, and then I also, remember there's that little bit of a turn, so I'm going to change this to 177. You make that 10-degree right turn at 11.7 DME too. And I should have my heading bug up there. This is going to be stupid. Right there, I'm at 11.7. See, I missed that 10-degree turn, so I didn't have my view down there to see that. So now I've got to go over there. I am above 3,100, but like I said, I'm not worried about that. I would rather be above than below. I usually come in too high, but then I do a dive, and I kind of have fun doing that. I kind of treat every approach like it's high ILS. And then I overturned again. Blah, blah, blah. Sorry guys, I wish I could make this look prettier. It would be prettier if I wasn't talking. Like I said, the distraction. I don't know how you guys do it, but that's another reason why we just kind of laugh it off, let it go, because you're on Twitch or YouTube or whatever. Okay, forgot speed brakes. Pull the speed brakes up. You're gonna have to gun it, because once I drop the gear, watch this. When you drop the gear, and at 250 knots, she will pitch down hard, and you will drop speed in a hurry if you don't keep that throttle up. I just moved it back a little bit, and I'm already dropping 10 knots, and it's going down. Let's see, and I need to cross the VOR at 2,000 at or above 2,900. And like I said, that's the hard part about this approach, is because you cross that VOR as you're coming in on approach, and it's about 5 miles from the runway. So you're in that cone of confusion right up until the runway. Who came up with that idea? I have no idea. They're not a freaking genius though. And if you look at it, that's where that 10-degree angle came in. That's another thing that throws me off a lot, is it's not straight in. I don't know why they have that 10-degree turn at 11.7 instead of having us do a straight shot the whole way. That would make more sense, but whatever. And the way I have my pitch trim, I have buttons at the bottom, and I'm trying to do throttle and trim all with my left hand, and constantly going back and forth. I got the gear and the flaps are on my left hand too. Everything is pretty much on my left hand. That's okay though. With, like I said, I like to come in high because I can always dive down. It's got the speed brakes. The Corsair, you know, that one has the gear as the speed brakes. So now here my trim is all screwed up, and here's what I wish. That's what I miss about the 3D Pro was those 4 buttons on the top, and you could set one to trim, and I wouldn't have to have, and I could do all that with my right hand instead of trying to do it with my left hand. And there's so much shit going on here. I'm gonna drop 1 notch of flaps, and I did not press forward. God damn it. Remember guys, like I said, do as I say, not as I do. It's trying to aero brake with this thing is more like floating, because like I said, it's very, very touchy. So let's just get her down. Full speed brakes. Try to simulate. This is a long enough runway, you don't have to worry about it. But in the real world, this thing is known for the brakes were not good enough. Remember, this thing was designed in the 1950s. So anyway, I don't know how long this video has been so far, but anyway, the reason I did this is because I've had a few people call me out for saying, well, gee, Kenny, you like to do all this fun stuff, but why don't you show it? And it's like, dude, I've posted like 2 or 3 videos already of high VOR approaches. It was like over a year ago. Or if you guys wanted to come along, just, you know, tell me. I'll stream it to Discord if you want. But anyway, here it is. And there's no reason you guys can't do this with your tube liners. Just have a little fun. You got the autopilot to do it. If you look at the chart, it's a 3-degree glide slope. You're just starting at a higher altitude. This is a different type of plane than what you guys use, but don't be afraid to do it. This is the gist of it. I know I made a lot of mistakes. No excuses, whatever. But like I said, do as I say, not as I do. There it is. I'll pull it up one more time. Here's the chart. High ILS, Zulu or localizer, runway 18. She's fun. That the VOR right there, that is what will fucking kill you, because it's so close. That is just dumb. Anyway, I hope this helps. The person that in particular I made this for, you better watch this, and if you did, leave a comment just so I know you watched it. I am not going for money on this thing. I put my time in it. It'd be nice if you actually watched it once in a while, you know. Don't give me shit for not proving it, because that's bullshit. People say I talk shit, but no, I actually did it. Here you go. Don't give me crap anymore. Alright, if you're still here, thanks for watching, guys.